It was late. Too late, really. The kind of late where even the streetlights seem hesitant to shine, casting long, wavering shadows down the empty highway. I'd been on the road for hours, the miles stretching on like an endless black ribbon, and now the gas gauge was hovering on E. But I'd been down this road before, literally and figuratively, and I knew that the next town wasn't far off, just a few more miles. The road was familiar, winding through dense woods and isolated farmland, the kind of place where you could almost forget that civilization existed. It was always quiet here, too quiet. The kind of quiet that presses on your chest, makes your breath feel shallow, like you're being watched. But tonight, it felt worse. There was something in the air, something thick and oppressive. My hands tightened around the steering wheel as I focused on the road, trying to ignore the growing unease gnawing at me. I should have pulled over to get gas earlier, but I hadn't. I had kept driving, pushing on, telling myself I was fine. But now, with the needle on empty and no signs of life around me for miles, I regretted that decision. I rolled down the window to get some fresh air, hoping it might clear my mind, but instead, it brought the cold, damp scent of earth and rotting leaves. The trees loomed on either side of me like dark sentinels, their branches twisting against the moonlight. I flicked the headlights higher, but it didn't help. The darkness swallowed everything. The car sputtered once, and my stomach lurched. I gripped the wheel tighter. Not now, not now, I thought. But it happened again. A soft sputtering noise, followed by the engine stalling completely. My heart skipped a beat. Panic set in. I tried restarting the car, but it refused to respond. The engine made a coughing noise, and then fell silent. Damn it, I muttered, thumping the steering wheel with my fist. I wasn't about to sit out here all night. The nearest gas station had to be just a few miles away. I couldn't walk it though, not with my phone dead and no way to call for help. I glanced around, searching for anything familiar, but the trees and the roads seemed to blur into one endless void. I pulled my coat tighter around myself and opened the door. The cold air hit me like a slap, and I shivered as I stood on the side of the road. The car felt like a tomb behind me, a dead thing, and I couldn't bring myself to look back at it. But there had to be something out here. A farmhouse, a roadside diner, a truck, anything. I started walking, my footsteps muffled by the damp ground. As I moved farther away from the car, I tried to keep my focus on the road ahead. But with each step, the shadows seemed to grow deeper, stretching toward me like fingers reaching from the darkness. A howl pierced the silence, low and chilling. It came from the woods, too close for comfort. I froze. My breath caught in my throat. Wolves, maybe? Or something else? I quickened my pace, my heartbeat hammering in my chest. The last thing I wanted was to be caught in the woods at night with whatever that thing was lurking out there. And then, just when I thought I was imagining things, I saw it. A dim light, flickering in the distance, a sign of life. I couldn't believe my luck. A house? A gas station? It didn't matter. I was going to make it there, even if it killed me. I pushed through the brambles and underbrush, ignoring the branches scratching at my face, my legs, anything that got in my way. I didn't care anymore. The light was my beacon. As I got closer, I realized the light wasn't coming from a building. It was hovering just above the ground, faint and erratic, like a will-o'-the-wisp. What the hell? My instincts screamed at me to turn around, to forget whatever it was and get back to my car. But curiosity, or maybe desperation, drove me forward. The light flickered again, and this time, it seemed to grow stronger, almost as if it was beckoning me. I I stepped closer, and then the air changed. It grew colder. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. I could feel it now. A presence. Something in the dark. Something old. Something hungry. I heard a voice then, soft and distant at first. It sounded like a woman, but the words were garbled, distorted, like they were being dragged through thick mud. "Help me!" she whispered. My heart skipped a beat. It was coming from the direction of the light. I couldn't stop myself. I took another step, and then the light snapped off, plunging everything into an oppressive darkness. The howl from the woods sounded again. Closer. Louder. More primal. I turned on my heel and bolted, my breath ragged as I sprinted back toward the road, away from whatever I had almost stumbled into. My mind screamed at me to run faster, but my body was already protesting. My legs burned with the effort, and I knew if I stopped, I wouldn't be able to start again. I didn't dare look back, I just kept running. When I finally made it back to the road, I saw the faint outline of my car in the distance. The engine still wasn't running, but the headlights, those damn headlights, were on. And there was something in the passenger seat. Something moving. A chill ran down my spine, but I didn't stop to think. I scrambled into the car, slamming the door behind me and locking it. The figure in the passenger seat, pale, gaunt, its features twisted, stared at me with hollow eyes. The engine sputtered again, the car lurched, I slammed my foot on the gas pedal, and it finally roared to life. As I sped down the road, I glanced in the rearview mirror. The trees seemed to shift behind me, their shapes becoming more alive. The light was still there, faint and flickering in the distance. And the woman's voice, soft, pleading, followed me. "Help me."